All right, fuck it. Yeah, let's do this. Ready?
1, 2, 3, 4.
The Dynasty Hot Sauce Podcast. I'm Larry Monkey, and you can find me on Twitter at FFLarryMonkey. And here we go with the man. He's got the salmon back. Salmon's back in January.
Orange.
The blanket is covering his nether regions. Maybe there's a dog under there with his tongue out, perhaps. But he's got his phone looking at some. We don't want to know what he's looking at. But he's Run DFF. At Run DFF. Justin Rogers.
I was looking at the new Titans head coach. It's the new Titans head coach, Brian Callahan.
Oh, God.
There's one. I think that's the first real domino to drop. Pierce got the interim tag off, and so he's the new Raiders coach officially. We already had Gerard Mayo, so now I think Callahan's the first outside hire.
I would like the Justin Fields on the Falcons.
Why? Then they're still a quarterback away.
Oh, that's what you think, man. I don't know why you're still a hater when you're talking about your quarterback.
He still can't throw the ball. He still has games where he puts up like 120 yards passing. I'm sorry, good quarterbacks are not going to do that.
But he's also rushing for 100 yards.
Which is all fine and dandy in the fantasy world, but you need to move the ball through the air. This is 2024, man. This is not 1992 run it down people's throat football. Not happening.
Okay. It'll be good.
I need a quarterback who can give you 4,000 plus yards.
What do you want, Matt Ryan?
Well, no, Matt Ryan's washed. He's old.
You know who you want? Baker Mayfield, free agent.
No, I want Kirk Cousins if we're going to go that any direction. Okay, so here's the thing. There was rumors today that Baker Mayfield's going to command $40+ million a year. Are you giving Baker Mayfield $40 million if you're a GM or owner?
Why not?
After one season?
Listen, he's led two teams to the playoffs.
Yeah, but he's also had some atrocious years with some really bad throws, right?
He was also on a lot of championship rosters too. With
Again, we're talking about fantasy. But are you, after seeing one very good year from him, following 2 or 3 very terrible, mediocre years, are you giving him $40 million?
You're giving Danny Dimes that much money. Why not?
Now, looking back on that, do you think the Giants feel good about that decision?
That was never a good decision.
No. Okay, so now why would it be a good decision to give Baker Mayfield that money?
I think the Bucs understand that they need a good quarterback to be successful, and they picked up Baker Mayfield off the scrap heap.
Is he the good quarterback that you just said? Is he the good quarterback?
I think Baker Mayfield's a good quarterback.
Oh, man.
What?
I am not nearly as confident after 17 games of good when we have seen 2 or 3 seasons straight of bad.
You remember last season when Baker had like 2 days on the Rams and he won the game? Remember that?
Yes, I do. He has that magic in him. There is no doubt about it. Remember his rookie year? He came in, took over for who was it? Tyrod that was there. He took over for Tyrod and killed it
against the Jets.
And then the next year and the year after that, he looked like trash. I think you like the idea of Baker because you have him on a couple teams and you have had him on a couple teams.
I've been a Baker guy forever. So
I was a Baker guy early on.
He's not terrible.
But I can't ignore 3 seasons of mediocre because he had one very good season.
He was a first-round startup pick after his rookie season.
I think that's Shane's fault. Shane had him as his QB too. He's like Patrick Mahomes and Baker Mayfield.
I'm in this the Superflex Army.
Right.
And the banner is a picture of Baker Mayfield and Pat Mahomes are the only 2 quarterbacks.
That's so random.
Well, it was not random because Baker was a first round.
Right. Yeah.
You know? And Mahomes,
this league started in like 2019 or something, or 2020, whatever year.
Yeah, it had to.
Yeah, right.
Because this had to have been like a 2019 league. Ooh, I have a trade. I got a trade offer here. Oh, we haven't talked about this. I mentioned it in the chat, but as I'm on the Superflex Army, I see Feverish Finero, Rookie Fever, is offering me Chan and Sutton for Jahmyr Gibbs.
Oh yeah, we talked about this in the chat a little bit.
Yes, yeah. I have not responded.
Oh, you haven't responded?
I just realized that I talked about it and then just forgot all about it.
Come on, Dynasty Madman.
It's the 20th. So send it to me on the 20th. So it's only 2 days.
Okay, that's really not that bad. It feels like we had that chat like last Wednesday.
Yeah,
man. Yeah. That's because we've had a million things going on in the Patreon, and we haven't been able to. Like every time I turn around, it's a new conversation because it's been blowing up. So.
Yeah, this was in the middle of the day on the 20th.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to take this because I'm just not an Chan guy, and I am a Gibbs guy. And Sutton
we established way early on when we did that little top 5 running back thing. We established you're not a Chan guy. Mm-hmm. I am a little cooler on him now after seeing how the Dolphins used him coming off the injury. Because coming off the injury, they just basically backed off completely. Well, he got banged up again, his first game back. And then they were like, you know what? We're just going to limit his touches. That's what it felt like. We're just going to limit his touches every time, every game.
The Lions are doing it the right way. They were like, oh, let's sign Montgomery. We'll just feed him. We'll sprinkle in Gibbs, get his feet wet throughout the season. He'll be fresh for this playoff run. And who knows what happens in the next few seasons, but
I feel
like football, NFL wise, I mean, he finished as an RB1, but still, I feel like they utilized him properly as a rookie running back.
Yeah, it was fine. He actually had a good bit of usage, but I don't see David Montgomery going anywhere. He's on a 3-year, $18 million deal. Almost all of next year is guaranteed.
Nice.
So he'll be there next year.
I'm fine. I'm fine with the split. I'm okay with the split. I mean,
I am too because he's still getting usage. Gibbs is still getting 15, 17 touches a game.
Yeah.
He's getting like 12 to 14 carries
and 70 targets.
Right. And then 3 or 4 or 5 targets every game.
300 yards receiving, 50 catches, 52 catches.
I mean, if he was Rachaad White, he'd have caught like 62 of those balls or something.
It's I mean, he had 1,200 total yards. Not a bad rookie season. 1,200 yards. And 9 and 10 total touchdowns. Right. Kidding me? 1,200 yards and 10 touchdowns? You'll take that from anybody every year.
Absolutely, yeah. I would like more than 1,200 yards for sure. 1,200 yards is nice.
10 touchdowns?
The 10 touchdowns is nice.
Yeah.
But okay, so what did he finish as? I'm gonna pull this up. I wonder what he finished as. Take a guess in PPR scoring. Where he ranked in running backs?
Oh,
you can do total and point per game, whatever.
Well, he was probably like the RB9 or 10, right?
You nailed it.
I had him as RB5.
He's RB10. Yes. In points per game,
I had him as my like RB5 or 4 or something.
And he was RB8 in points per game. So, yeah. So
next season, he'll be ranked in the top 5.
If you were to look at the list right now, of course, CMB, are you talking about in redraft rankings or are you talking about?
I'm thinking like in August.
When we're talking about guys for 2024, CMC will be above him, right?
Okay.
Okay. Now, assuming the Rams don't do anything wild, Kyren Williams or Gibbs?
Ooh, yeah, Williams. I'm going Gibbs. Kyren Williams would probably have to be right after Gibbs for me. I know he's the man, Kyren Williams, and he comes a slight frame just like Gibbs.
Are you fucking crazy?
Somebody break into your house right now? What the hell's going on?
No, I'm confused how you're going to take the guy who averaged 21 points a game and be like, you know what? I'm going to take Jahmyr Gibbs. And even in the playoffs that he was blowing up. Like, no.
I know.
All right.
I mean, in Dynasty.
Well, we're not talking about Dynasty. We're just talking about for 2024.
Okay.
Breece Hall or Jahmyr Gibbs?
Breece Hall or Jahmyr Gibbs. I got to go Breece Hall.
Bijan or Jahmyr Gibbs next year?
Man, this is where it gets tricky.
I know, man.
That's a coin flip.
Okay. Jonathan Taylor or Jahmyr Gibbs next year?
Gibbs.
Rachaad White or Gibbs next year? I'm doing all these on the assumption that it's the same.
I mean, honestly, that's tough. I mean, we're just talking about like the magazine that you're buying on the way to your home redraft.
Yeah. See, you said he'll be a consensus top 5. I'm saying I think it might be a little cloudier than that. You see what I'm saying? Like, there's actually a pretty good bunch of running backs.
CMC, Williams, White, Hall, Gibbs, Cook, Bijan, even Pacheco.
Is Cook going to be in there? No, I'm not putting James Cook in that same conversation.
Yeah.
But yeah, Pacheco can be in the mix.
I'm not. I think Barkley might be a nice sleeper at this point. I mean, I don't think you need to go heavy running back. It's again, you're taking running backs. You can get a 3rd round running back.
In redraft, I'm going heavy running back.
You're going heavy running back.
Well, the dead zone running backs were awful this year. Just freaking terrible. Miles Sanders.
What do you mean? Kyron Williams is a dead zone guy.
No, Kyron Williams was a waiver wire guy. He wasn't a dead zone guy. Hold on. Let's look at 2023 ADP.
Fantasy pros.
Just to see. This is, ADP. All right. They gathered this from. All right. So I went to round 3. All right. Breece Hall was in there. That's good. Ramondre, not great.
Oof.
JT, not great. Joe Mixon. Kenneth Walker.
I've never been a Kenny Walker guy.
Jahmyr Gibbs was in there. He was good. And rookies are kind of different because rookies in the dead zone, I think that's kind of expected. Like, I would rather take Aaron Jones up until the end of the season. Meh. Najee Harris. Meh. Kamara was really good. Kamara was great. DeAndre Swift. Meh. That's the end of round 4 right there. Going into round 5. Pacheco was good. Miles Sanders, meh. Damian Pierce, meh. James Cook was fine. Rachaad White was good. Alexander Madison, ooh, there's a name for you. There's some in there, like James Conner was good. Dave Montgomery, but then you got Javonte Williams. I mean, it's just I don't want to risk that when I can get. If you go back to the top of the list, let's just go running backs. Christian McCaffrey. Austin Eckler was meh after the first, but Bijan was pretty good. Saquon was solid. Tony Pollard was trash. Jacobs, Henry was whatever. ETN. Then you get into that dead zone where Ramondre, etc. So out of all those, Eckler was a bust. Pollard was a bust at the top of the draft. But man, it was like 50-50 at best in the dead zone. Rounds 3 through 5 or 6. It was 50-50 at best.
Yeah, I don't know. There's some good. I don't know. I'm going to be a late running back taker.
I'm going to find the draft rookies and hope that 1 or 2 hit out of this class where people are going to absolutely be ignoring.
The wide receivers, you saying?
The running backs. They're going to be ignoring the rookie running backs because the draft capital doesn't look to be there this year. Like 3rd round might be the first running back.
Now, speaking of rookies, Travis May does a rookie poll mock draft.
Like a mock thing. Yeah.
Does it every year, and I love it when he comes out with it. He just posts poll after poll. He just gets a consensus, 101, 102, first couple rounds of the draft. And, the first couple of picks are kind of what you'd expect. Want to run through it?
Starts out pretty standard. Caleb Williams, Marvin Harrison Jr., Drake May. No surprises there. Jaden Daniels. All right, so 104 was Jaden Daniels. 105 was Malik Neighbors.
Yeah.
106 was Brock Bowers. And then Rome Odunze.
Well, Malik Neighbors is getting.
Rome Odunze was 107. Yeah.
He's getting a lot of hype. LSU.
Well, he should get a lot of hype. He's incredible.
Yeah. And I mean, I saw someone on Twitter today that had him as his wide receiver 1 over Marvin Harrison. But you never know at this point.
I don't think value-wise I could do it, but I don't know that there's – I think he's closer to Marvin Harrison than he is to Rome Odunze.
Right.
And I hope I'm saying that name right. I have no idea.
DLF has these little blurbs about these guys, and Shane Hallam says he's closer to Harrison than he is to the rest of the wide receiver class, which is what you just said.
I swear they're plagiarizing me. I think I think I've said that 2 or 3 times. I might even put it on Twitter. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. PLF, they secretly love the hot sauce pod.
Yeah, they're over here listening to the pod and stealing our stuff.
You can't resist.
That's what it is. A Dunze was 107. Then it gets interesting.
Sure,
so Troy Franklin at the 108, not a Michael Penix Jr.
I know this is a super flex, and you might get your fat finger folks that don't read the super flex fine print, but it's still a consensus by a long shot for a lot of these guys.
At 108, or I'm sorry, at 109, Brian Thomas Jr. That's another LSU guy.
I've heard of most of these guys throughout the season, but I haven't heard much out of these two, Franklin and Thomas Jr.
Oh, Franklin was pretty good, but I didn't expect him to be a mid to late first. I still don't expect that. That's kind of shocking that he's that high. And then Michael Penix at 110. Xavier Worthy at 111, and then Keon Coleman at 112 to round out the first.
Right. And Travis May's dialed into the Devy world, so he's got a lot of followers that are on these guys. So it's a pretty accurate, judging by years past, it's improved its accuracy. I mean, and you'll have your randos that take a shit during the combine, stuff like that might affect some of these.
That is 7 wide receivers in the first round of a super flex. 7. Well, then it goes Bo Nix at 201, then Braylon Allen.
I'm hopeful for Worthy at the 11 because that's my HQ1 draft spot.
Yeah, Worthy, and then
Bo Nix. Do you think he's going to be anything in the fantasy football world?
I don't know. I think he's a late first, early second real pick.
If he is first round draft capital, then he's worth drafting in a 16-team super flex.
Sure, yeah. But how early? This is a guy who is like 32 years old already. I mean, he's halfway to retirement.
Do you think he gets drafted in the first 12 picks in the HQ1 draft? No. A quarterback that's drafted outside the top 12 in the 16-teamer. That'll be unprecedented if that happens that way.
Is it? Because there'll be 4 quarterbacks that have gone already. That's the key. Is that it's not like he would be the second quarterback and he just didn't get touched. It didn't. It wouldn't be unprecedented because the year that it was Kenny Pickett and Trash, I don't think there were 4 quarterbacks taken in the first round, much less a 5th one. I could be wrong. I know that a certain someone reached because they put themselves in a bad position with their first pick, and so they had to start reaching on QBs.
Well, whether they reached or not, that's when the player was drafted. So Kenny Pickett 103. You're right. Oh no. Malik Willis was taken 108. Desmond Ridder went 201. Corral 202. Howell 203.
Who took Corral at 202?
We went Hooten, Ridder, and then Heiser went Corral, Howell back to back.
Yep.
But we're talking about those guys with that horrible draft capital.
Third rounders.
Taken in the top 20. They were taken in the top 19.
Yeah. I'm not saying that they're. I mean, it's clearly worth a second rounder. Shit, anybody with a pulse could be worth the second rounder at a 60.
But if these guys have first round draft capital, like Pickett did, they automatically catapulted him.
Right, but no, because Pickett got catapulted because there weren't other quarterbacks. If he had been the 23rd pick or whatever he was in another year, he wouldn't be the 3rd pick overall.
Yeah, first round, 20th pick. He's 20th pick in the first round.
Right. Yeah. So if he's the 20th pick and there's 2, 3, or 4 quarterbacks taken ahead of him, he's not getting all the way up to the 3rd overall pick.
Right.
It's all relative. I mean, every year is relative. Obviously, some seasons are going to be really bad, like that one with 1 late first rounder and then a bunch of thirds. That's going to be an outlier year. But It's just going to be hard to find where you have 5 QBs. Go back to what year was it when it was Josh Rosen and Baker and all them, and Lamar Jackson?
That would be 2018.
Blake Corum.
3.
Blake Corum, did he come out? I don't even know. I guess he did. He's getting into the poll. But J.J. McCarthy at the 204. Jonathan Brooks at the 205. Is that the first?
Yeah. Adonai Mitchell.
No, he's the RB2. Yeah, with Blake Corum in it. So you're looking at 2 running backs in the early mid-second as being the first running backs off the board.
Braylon Allen and Trey Benson. Our boy Will Shipley's not getting as much hype as I was hoping for.
I am disappointed because I do have him in a Debbie league, I believe.
Right.
Needed him to get some love.
I don't understand it because he crushed this year. Like he's
gonna have a good combine too. He's gonna run low 4.4s probably. He's a sprinter, so that should help. That should help his draft capital. What do they estimate his 4.4 time? Mid 4.4 is what they're saying. Could be a little bit faster. He's gonna be quick.
Yeah. I mean, DLF has him listed at 5'11", 198. So I'm sure he'll be a couple pounds heavier for the combine.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I didn't realize he was quite that light. Because
he's quick.
According to Google, he's 209.
209.
Which, who knows? Yeah, and on Wikipedia, he's 210, 5'11", 210.
Well, yeah. Well, somebody edited the Wiki. Can edit them. Can anybody edit that?
I mean, Athlon Sports has him at 210. Back in September. You got him at 5'11", 210. And it's just his list weight at Clemson. I don't know what his real weight is.
Yeah, we won't know that until the combine.
Right. You know what we should know before the combine, Larry?
What's that?
Who's going to fill this orphan in the Hot Sauce League? That's right.
Join the orphan, baby.
We got an orphan. And we actually had 2 orphans, but I had a guy reach out to me mid-season like, hey, if you've got a spot, I want in. So that one is filled. We are going to do a dispersal. It will be these 2 teams plus anybody else who wants to get in. So if you want to get into the Hot Sauce Listener League, hit me up on Twitter, group me, snail mail, whatever it is. I'll look at the postmarks on that and make sure I get the right people in. But yeah, hit me up if you want to get in on the Listener League at RunDFF. You know how to find me, yada, yada, yada. So if you hit up Larry, I may not see it for a week or 2.
Nah, let me know. I'll pass it along. Just that one in.
Yeah, exactly. That's all it is. First come, first serve. That's how we roll.
Yeah.
So
don't make us put it on Twitter because we don't know. Then there's some joker will get in that way.
Oh man, I don't want to do that shit ever. Yeah. Some
Twitter stalker.
But yeah, the goal would be let's get this dispersal going. I'm ready to see some ADP action out of that. Should be interesting.
Some ADP. Very cool.
Yeah.
So Will Levis to T. Higgins. That's going to be the one.
Is Will Levis really going to be the starter next year, or are they going to bring somebody in? Did you see enough out of Will Levis this year that you think that they're going to roll with him next year?
He looked good at times. Sure.
Oh, sure. Yeah, he looked good at times. And
had a great debut with DeAndre Hopkins.
And then other times, how did he look?
He looked like a rookie quarterback.
He looked
on a shitty team.
A very, very shitty team and a very rookie quarterback. Yeah. Troy and Stevie D in the chat.
Oh, look at this. Stevie D.
Stevie D making an appearance. That means he won't be listening with the family this week.
Right.
Yeah, Larry is like, who listens to a fantasy football podcast with their family? And I'm like, wait a second. We have shouted out his daughter and Stevie D of all people actually absolutely listens or has listened.
So I listened back to after I edited it down. I took a nice the patron. Join the Patreon, fuckers. So if you do, then you can watch the YouTube live link and chime in and talk smack with us with friggin' Stevie D and Troy and friends. And then we could talk about some Tua. So I listened to the show last week and I'm like, dude, Run DFF is hammering me over this trade, telling me how it's not about Jordan Love, it was about Tua. This trade was about Jordan Love.
Bullshit. Like I said, had it been about Jordan Love, you wouldn't have spammed the league for for other Tua offers.
Stevie D had announced in writing, I am not trading Jordan Love. He said that. So I sent him like this monster offer, and then I was like, all right, that's it. I'm just gonna start now. I'll just start fucking now that I've already mentally prepared for DJ Moore as part of the deal. I'll pass it on for everything else. But yeah, it was all about
Jordan Love was just one of the people that you were willing to move Tua for.
I was ready to move on from Tua, but I really wanted Jordan Love, and this was my only chance to get him because I had Tua, which was kind of similar value. Like this league was the perfect spot for me to get my hands on a Jordan Love.
I ran a poll 1 week apart from after the regular season and after the first week of playoffs. That's what I did.
2 polls.
So after the regular season, I ran the poll, Jordan Love versus Tua. Just that. And Tua won 56% to 44%.
Okay.
All right. After the first week of the playoffs, when Tua got bounced, Jordan Love rolled the Cowboys.
Yeah.
Ran it again. Did you see the poll? Do you want to take a guess what it was?
I did not. I bet you it was 64 to 36 in favor of Love.
It was 72-28. 72. I can see why. I can see why, but that's some recency bias for sure. It swung from 56-44 to 72-28 on one game.
That's all fantasy football is recency bias.
Which is why I want to capitalize on that. And that's what Stevie D did. He capitalized on you panicking with Tua. He got you.
Yeah, he did, because I probably could have gotten Tua for Love straight up in the summertime.
Oh, absolutely. Are you talking about this coming summer or next year?
Yeah.
Or last year, I mean.
No, this coming summer. Yeah, this coming summer.
I don't know that you could do that this year.
Why? Why? Because the ship has sailed on Jordan Love?
I think you'll have to see games out of Tua, more elite games out of Tua before his value pops back up. He's going to be in that.
He led the league in passing. What are you talking about? He led the league in passing.
Yeah, but he also had a really rough second half of the season as far as what people were expecting and what he produced. He had a T-Law type of second half. It wasn't great.
Oh, yes. This is what Stevie D read right after he sent Jordan Love my way. He read this article. One of the DLF guys put Love in their top 5 and declared he's the next Patrick Mahomes.
Well, let me tell you something. Caleb Williams is the next Patrick Mahomes. I can't do that with Jordan Love. I like Jordan Love. I think he's in that 12 range probably. That 12, 13 range. I ain't putting him in the top 5. Not a chance. Nope.
Well, I sent that giant offer to Stevie D, and after I did that, I said, okay, now that I've included more in this, let me see if I can. And I got some rejections for like the Burrows and stuff, but you claimed that you were going to put together an offer that I could not refuse.
I didn't have time during work that day. Mm-hmm. It is what it is. I'm not. It's fine. I think I'm so happy for Stevie D that he fucked you that good. I love it,
dude.
He got you so desperate to move Tua that you gave up DJ Moore to move from Tua to Jordan Love.
Yeah. Tua was a journeyman on my team. He was not. See, Jordan Love and Lamar Jackson are nice. That's a nice quarterback room right there. I'm excited for my Love Jackson duo. I was never excited about Tua. I was always worried about him. It's just better. I'm not on my team. I didn't want him taking a hit to the head. When you have 60 quarterbacks start this year, Tua played every game. Unbelievable.
Yeah, it's just silly to worry about injuries that way. Yeah, exactly. Tua played every game. After all that injury talk, he played every game.
And guess what? He's due.
Also a stupid, a dumb thing to even worry about or say.
He is due.
He's due. Goodness gracious.
I traded Brock Purdy for Cortland Sutton straight up, like when he first burst on the scene. And I was like, I just got to get rid of him. I got to get rid of him.
I can promise you there are a lot of Brock Purdy trades that people regret.
So speaking of which, I never made the deal with Beryl Joffrey. We were going back and forth trying to get Purdy on his team, but he just wouldn't cave. He just kept sending me the 2-for-1, and I wanted more than 2 running backs for Brock Purdy.
Yeah, right.
So
yeah, like I said, with your QB room, it's a bunch of question marks.
Right, and I was okay with it.
You have a lot of question marks, but I don't know if I feel great about a lot of question marks.
I mean, speaking of Jordan Love, Brock Purdy and Jordan Love have identical stats, and Purdy threw like 150 less passes than Love.
Yeah.
So,
but the other thing is that Purdy had Debo, George Kittle, CMC, and Brandon Ayuk. Right. And I mean, Jaden Reed was the best wide receiver on that.
He was the only one on the field. Him and Dubs. Nobody else was on the field. I mean, the running back room was a revolving door for the Packers. Jaden Reed is a rookie. Watson was out of the lineup more than he was in the lineup. Musgrave was on IR, so they was a rookie tight end.
It's not a comparable situation, that's for sure. Yeah. Having the two of them,
So, did you do any prop bets this past weekend?
I didn't do any prop bets. I did play. So every week, me and some guys from my hometown play some DraftKings stuff. And every week, so I put a lineup together every week. And I've done fairly well. I think I've won like 6 or 7 times this year, something like that.
Now, this is like not the sports book stuff. This is when you're doing the head-to-head, like fantasy football, pick 5 guys going up.
Right. Well, it's like pick a lineup kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like 2 running backs, 3 wide receivers, a flex, tight end.
And you each, there's like a $10 buy-in or something like that.
We just do $5. We just do $5 Venmo. Like we run a free contest and everybody just Venmos each other money.
All right. There you go.
So if there's 5 of us, the first place gets 15, second place gets to keep their money. The second place doesn't pay out. So the bottom 3 pay out every week. So anyways, I put together a lineup. It turned out to be real good this week. And I had like $2.91 in my account. I hadn't put money in there in 2-3 years, but I had won like some little bit here and there. Heck, I cashed that into $21 on the weekend slate. I wish I had some real money in there because I was doing really good in some tournaments, turning like 10 cents into $4. That's hard to do, but it was a hell of a lineup. It had K-Dot and Mike Evans and Baker Mayfield and CMC and ARSB, so it had some pieces in there that went off.
Yeah, I was looking forward to that Lions game. I finally got into my FanDuel account, which has been just a really challenge. It's just been a ridiculous challenge trying to get into any of these sportsbook accounts. They're just like, oh, your password expired. Here's the new password. Reset the password. Here, we're going to send you a code now, and then check your email. It's like, dude, what the hell? Then you're locked out again. You have to do it all over again. Anyway, for some reason this weekend it worked. Like I got it right in. And I'm like, oh, I like messing around with the player props,
right?
And I was like, oh, let me get a hold of a. If I put $10 on, I could win $1,400. Like a 5-player prop, and I came close, but it's those. It's funny. I had Mike Evans for 100 yards. He almost had 100 yards at halftime. Laporta almost had 50 yards at halftime. So it's like, oh, yeah, sitting good with those. This could be like a nice big shootout game. And I was banking on Gibbs and Rachaad White each getting 5 receptions. Maybe they came up short with 4. And Amon-Ra St. Brown I had for 100 yards and 77. If the game went into overtime, I think I would have crushed this one. But.
Yeah, you had a good shot with that. If the game went into overtime. You needed one more catch from Gibbs, one more catch from who was the other?
It was Gibbs and Rachaad White.
Oh, Rachaad White, yeah. And then
who had dropped one right at the end of the game because it was like started to swing it out to him and he just clanked off his hands.
Yep.
Not that it made any difference, but I thought I had a real shot at this. I was like, you know what?
It wasn't close, but it was
doable.
It wasn't close, but it was. If you only hit 2 of 5 legs on a parlay,
it doesn't look good.
It's not great. But each of those legs none of them were like, oh my gosh, there's no chance. This is stupid.
Yeah. Another drive each. There was a good chance I could have hit it.
Possibly. Yep.
But whatever. But it was fun. It was fun. I don't really do any of that stuff. Like I said, I couldn't get into any of these. I mean, Stevie D's question pertains to quarterbacks of your favorite teams and what you expect what you want your favorite teams to do at quarterback over the next 4 months.
Well, I'm really hoping that we move off of Derek Carr and we find somebody in the – oh, wait, not a Saints fan.
Womp, womp.
Let me tell you what's going to happen, Steve, and then let me tell you what I wish would happen for the Falcons. What's going to happen is they're going to sign like a Kirk Cousins, or they're going to go get a Justin Fields, that kind of thing. What I wish would happen is they would slide up a couple spots and go get Jaden Daniels or Drake May. That's what I wish they would do. I don't think they have the capital, and I'm not sure I want them to spend the capital on Caleb Williams unless they can do it. I mean, maybe they can pull it off. They gave up next year's first and this year's and a player or something. We can make that happen. But
they're sitting at the 8th pick.
Right.
That's a
lot of QB needy teams ahead of them.
Right.
They got to move up.
The 5th spot is where you want to get the Chargers pick. If you move up to 5, you're jumping over the Giants. Arizona doesn't need a quarterback. So you have the first 3 teams getting I guess it's going to go quarterback.
It's going to be something. They got Arizona getting Marvin Harrison Jr. in all of what I've seen lately. But
yeah, it's going to be tough to. I mean, the only team would be Chicago, and that's.
I don't think they either take quarterback or they trade out. That's it. There's no way they can take Marvin Harrison Jr. at the 101.
I mean, if Atlanta wants to move from 8 to 1, that you're talking.
That's expensive.
The 1st and 2nd this year, 1st and 2nd next year.
Probably. That's expensive. Stevie D says, when it turns out to be Andy Dalton, will you actually become a Saints fan? Fuck no. Are you crazy? What the hell's wrong with you? I hope your kids are listening there right now. I hope they learned all kinds of fucking bad words.
Dude,
Never Saints.
I'm hearing people talk about Flacco next season, and I'm like, are you serious? Get out of here. This is lightning in a bottle for him.
Lightning in a bottle.
Come on.
Yep.
Agree. Even his kids know that he sucks.
Yeah. They're like, holy shit, Daddy got a paycheck.
Well, he was on one of the, it wasn't Hard Knocks, but the Jets were they do like an in-house Hard Knocks or whatever. Right. I don't know if you saw the clip of like Flacco's in the quarterback room and he's telling a story about his kids always telling him he sucks. So he's like, says, for the first time in my life, I'm looking up Joe Flacco highlights on YouTube so I could prove to my kids that I'm a terrible quarterback.
That's funny. No, I didn't watch any of the Jets Insider.
For Stevie D's question, if it applies to me and the Jets, it's not so much. I guess your question that would apply to me would be what the Jets are going to do at backup quarterback, because that's the pressing need. Clearly,
they need to find a starter at backup quarterback.
Right. I mean, I would love,
because when Aaron Rodgers gets hurt, they're going to need a starter.
Well, you know what was interesting is the Jordan Love model that the Packers model at quarterback, that they've had 3 quarterbacks since like 1992.
Right.
Like, it doesn't make any sense, but they've groomed them the same way, or Rodgers and Love, and the NFL's a copy league. You have Rodgers right now. They might take a stab at a quarterback. There's a lot of rumors that the Jets are looking to trade down, and Joe Douglas has never traded down in his since he's been the GM of the Jets. He's never traded down. He's always traded up. So maybe he takes a shot at one of these rookie quarterbacks that are, I mean, they're all not going to go in the top 15, but maybe he takes a shot at a Penix Nix or even a McCarthy to sit behind Rodgers for a year. I mean, depends on how the draft shakes out. I mean, he's not going to trade up into the first round.
Yeah.
Quarterback. He doesn't have a second round pick.
Right.
So, So yeah, we're talking like a Jacoby Brissett or a Minshew or somebody like that. That's what they're going to do. I think they're focusing on Jacoby Brissett. But yeah, they're going to have to go for a Brissett or I'd love for them to get Justin Fields. Let him sit behind Rodgers.
I don't think they can
sprinkle him in for some splash plays every now and again.
I don't think they can afford Justin Fields.
Yeah, I know.
Especially if Aaron Rodgers keeps talking about, I'm going to play for 2 or 3 more years.
Well, they're going to have to invest all their money in the offensive line. So they're going to spend a ton of money there. And they need a quarterback. They better not run it back with Flacco. That doesn't make any sense.
I can't see that happening.
They're not going to go. Baker's already proven that he can start. So he'll be looking for a starting job.
Yeah, man, that's scary to me.
I mean, we're talking like a Ryan Tannehill will probably come to the Jets.
That's interesting. If Tannehill ends up on the Jets, I'll be trying to buy because I have no faith. I have no faith that Aaron Rodgers is going to.
For both of our teams, so it sucks that we still have to deal with this. Man, when the Jets traded up, they had like it was like the 6th or 7th pick. They traded up to the 3rd pick to get Sam Darnold, and that was in 2018 in March. St. Patrick's Day, actually, they made the deal. I was like, they finally did it. They finally traded up to get the quarterback.
Right.
And it's just been a ridiculous Jets bullshit. Just Jets bullshit.
I think
how many quarterbacks have started for the Jets since they drafted Darnold?
I don't know.
Fuck.
8, 9.
Oh.
I don't know. It's been a lot.
And Packers have had 3 quarterbacks last 30 years. Doesn't make any sense.
Larry's got so frustrated he can't even.
Yeah, thanks. As soon as Stevie D sent that question about your favorite teams, I'm like, I don't feel like talking about the Jets. It's the first thing I said to myself, and here I go. Ugh, making myself sick. Just making myself sick.
Fireysard has been trying to get me to take an offer, and it was actually not a bad offer in a vacuum. This is in the Hot Sauce Listener League. I got obviously a pretty good team. Traded for Dak and CD. Didn't give up anything of note off my lineup. So now I'm looking at a really stacked team. In this situation where you have someone like, you have 3 quarterbacks that are startable with Tua, Kyler, and now Dak. You got a shit ton of running backs. CMC, Breece Hall, Bijan, Joe Mixon, Derrick Henry, Najee, like David Montgomery now because he made it in that trade. And then you have wide receivers, Kupp, Metcalf, CeeDee Lamb, Stephon Diggs. He's trying to sell me on 3 more players. He's like, take Eckler and Debo and Adams. And he wants me to give him DK Metcalf and an early 25 first next year. I just can't drive myself to go acquire 3 more players on a roster where I can't even start all the guys that I have right now. Like if I was to try and start everybody, I couldn't put together a lineup without being like, oh crap, I need to figure out who I can't start or who I need to not start, whatever. So that's one thing that he's been trying to sell me on players. I don't know if he's gutting his team or if he just wants to hit the reset button and acquire a bunch of players and picks and turn them into points next year or what. I can't figure it out. But, yeah, he's been sending out trade offers like crazy because, of course, we're hearing about them.
You join the Patreon, you get the tidbits, you get to hear other trade offers and we talk about them, and
you do get to hear other trade offers, and you also get the this person offered me this without it being blacked out all the time. I might just actually see what people are offering. But like I said, it wasn't a terrible offer. It just doesn't make any sense for my team with all the players I have. It's like, man, that's a lot to acquire. First I'm going to start cutting players.
You have to start looking at what you want to give me for George Kittle.
I don't have to start doing anything until August.
Oh, well, you can start now, so you can come up. You can start thinking of a good, nice offer you could send me, and then I'll counter it.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Which means I'm going to start with like 2 4th-rounders. Damn, I just got 2 trade offers from him right now. Oh, yeah. It was the same offer, except he had a Kareem Hunt. I'm sorry. Kareem Hunt is not moving the needle.
See, I feel like Fiery Zard would like to be in a league. He would like Dobbins on his team. Someone trade Fiery Zard Dobbins so he can start firing off J.K. Dobbins trades.
He left that trade up there for 1 minute. You want to hear what the actual trade was?
Ooh,
Eckler, Adams, Debo, and Kareem Hunt. I give up Metcalf, an early 25 first, Noah Brown, Devin Tompkins, and a second. Oh, really, it's a 25 third, but we know how those work. It's going to be a second-round player.
Yeah.
So, and that's how I described it. I didn't even mention Devin Tompkins and Noah Brown. It's like, I don't care about any of those.
No.
But DK Metcalf, the early 25 first, and the second rounder for Eckler, Adams, Debo, and Kareem Hunt. My problem is I've told him I'm not really interested in buying Adams or Eckler at market value. I have no interest in them at market value just because I think they're declining assets. And I mean, Eckler clearly lost something.
Yeah, you don't want Eckler on your team.
I don't need Eckler. For sure I don't. I got like 6 running backs I could start. In a start 11, I'm running out of starting spots.
All right. Well, hey, you want to get in on some of this Listener League talk, then shoot us a message and get the Orphan that we got.
Yeah. We'll run dispersals as soon as folks are paid up. I know that everybody's good to go.
Leave a review. Give us a rating, 5-star rating. How about that one?
You know what? We have not asked or mentioned in a while, Larry. Good call.
I'll start doing that. Yeah. Too bad it's at the end of the show when no one's listening anymore.
A few people might make it here. You know what? The people that are going to leave 5-star reviews, they're at the back end of the show here.
Let's leave some reviews. Join the Patreon next week. What do you think? We should get a guest on next week. Try to work on that.
That's a good idea. We'll bring somebody on.
Try to get a guest on next week. Wonder who it'll be. If you want us to get somebody on, shoot us a message. We'll get them on for you.
Yeah. Larry has no shame. He'll ask anybody.
No, doesn't matter.
We've got the Pope coming on in May.
That's right. Pope.
Larry reached out to the Pope.
I bet you we could get Denzel Mims now. He's probably love to come on.
He's got some free time.
All right. Well, we'll see you next week, then. Thanks for listening to the Dynasty Hot Sauce Pod.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Larry Monkey and Justin Rogers talking Dynasty